Hey guys, my name is Jonas Saalbach from my studio in Berlin. Welcome to Production Music Live. I have something special for you today. I'm producing a track in 30-40 minutes and I almost only use sample from the sample pack by Stereo Voltage. I really focus on the sample pack, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, give you a little bit of insight in my work and also in the sample pack. So if you have any questions after the session, just comment below and I try to answer everything. Let's first have a look into the samples I choose. Here's a kick loop, a bass loop, clap, kind of a rim shot, nice bongo loops, some hi-hats, shaker, tambourine, dreamy synthesizer, nice chord progression, and a saxophone. Not sure if I will use it, but let's see. Okay, first of all, I will start with a kick. I already have here a simpler and I put the kick into the simpler because I want to transpose it. I did this here. This is like the normal version and I transpose it down to -4. And what I also did, I changed the length of the kick. Okay, let me just mute those plugins. Here I add a bit of a tape saturation. Just a tiny bit. Let's see what it does. Bit more sub-bass. Here I have a little bit of compression to compress the attacks, and here I have a big dip on 360 Hz. I did the same here with the EQ, a little bit more, and the low cut at this maybe a bit too low. Let's say 40. Okay, this is my kick drum. Now I would like to have a bass loop. This is pretty cool. I compress the bass line and here a little dip in the mid frequencies. You can see what it does. Perfect. And here a low cut at maybe a bit higher, 36. Okay. And now I would like to add some shakers. I really like to use the erosion on shakers. You know, you can really change the sound of the loop. And it feels like there's like more in the mid frequencies instead of just in the highs. what I really like, because then it's more space for the hi-hats on top of it. Okay, then some auto pan. And I actually use always a bit of saturation on drums. Here it's also changing the sound. Then a low cut, because it gets a lot of low frequencies from the overdrive, and a little push in the high frequencies, and the compression with sidechain from the kick drum, and a really small room. Just a little bit. Don't use too much reverbs on drums. It messes up the mix. So let's see. Yeah, feels like there's a good punch now. And then, yeah, maybe we can just add some hi-hats. What I really like is to put the warp function on beats, and then this selection here, and then this works a bit like a transient designer. So it gets shorter. Yeah, this is good. And then I think I would like to transpose it a bit down. Okay, cool. Bit of overdrive. And an equalizer. I think here it felt like a little bit too much of these bell frequencies, so I turned it down. And a little push here in the highs. I think it's good to push hi-hats a little bit and turn them down instead of make them just too loud. Perfect. Here on the right side I have some reverbs already from Slate Digital. Very small, short reverb. And here a Valhalla vintage verb, also for drums, and then one long reverb for synthesizers. I think it's very important to have small rooms on drums, or you really want to have like a, I don't know, like a clap with a very long reverb, and then you choose this because it's necessary for the sound. So I give the hi-hat a bit of a room, just a tiny bit. Okay, shaker has already room. Yeah, next could be some percussion grooves. So I would like to use the bongo loop. Okay. I changed the warp mode on beats because I want to change the groove. And then I want to delete some notes. This. Okay, it's really bright. So I make this a little bit more into mono. And a bit of overdrive. This really changes the style of the loop. delay. And then I use the corpus. This is interesting. This really changes the sound. Like a resonator. You know, and with the tune, you can tune the sound. Ooh, also interesting. Belly frequency, which I turn down a little bit. Great, I need a bit of room for the percussion. Maybe a bit from both. Perfect. So what could be next? Yeah, let's stay with the drums. Here I have these nice clap loops. This is cool. Maybe a bit too long, so again I go on beats. And kill the sustain. Really choppy. And here's the track delay. I put them a little bit behind the kick. Can be interesting for the groove. Just play around with the percussion. Sometimes it's good to put the hi-hat a bit behind or a bit earlier. Track delay very important for drums in my opinion. So this is a cool kind of rim shot, sounds good already, maybe a bit reverb. And then the second clap I would like to have only every second time. Yeah, I put a little bit of reverb on the clap. This is like kind of a more long reverb because I just want to have it for this sound. It's important. It brings it really in the back in the mix. Cool. These are the drums for now. And yeah, maybe I can add the tambourine. And now I would like to have some kind of pad atmosphere, which I will create out of the melody loop. So I go in the arrangement mode and then turn off warp and transpose it down. Let's see what it does. This is the original. Yeah, so this is cool. If you transpose it down like -12, it's like an octave, means you're still in the key, still in C minor, so this is nice. Or maybe even lower. I think it's better like this. And now I consolidate it so that it's like this is now the sample. And then I loop it. Here in the beginning feels like there's a little click. Oh, it's actually here in the end, okay. So some reverb. And then I have an effect chain, kill like the low frequencies. Here I have like the echo boy. I just choose the preset ambience echoes to make it a bit more blurry. And here with Slate Digital I compress it a bit. The FG2A is super nice for synthesizers because it really glues it together without feeling that there is a compression. And then I use the erosion for some noise. I like these crackling kind of sounds. And then a sidechain from the kick, that it feels it's a bit more in the background and doesn't take too much attention. Maybe this is not necessary here. Okay, and together with drums. I think now I have to tune the percussion again. So those two elements, they need to work together because they're both harmonic. Cool. And yeah, then let's take a look into the chord progression. There are some really nice chord loops in the sample pack, and yeah, you can just play around with it. You don't have to take it in a full loop. Okay, I will again put it on beats. So only this. That's kind of groovy. Bit of reverb in the synthesizer verb. Kill the low frequencies, but not too much. Here in the midst, bit of a push. So if you have like sounds, I really like to push them where they are necessary to push. I don't work like this always. I also like add frequencies. So yeah, this works. And maybe a bit of saturation was my idea. Just a bit. Decapitator from Sound Toys. Great tool. And then I wanted to have a bit more kind of a dubby vibe. So the filter delay from Ableton works pretty cool for that. Cool. I'm happy with that. What I always like is to make a melody out of a groove. So I take the Percussion Groove, put it here in the arrangement view, consolidate everything. So it looks like this. And now I convert it to drums. So this looks like that's the groove. I copy that, delete the drum rack, and open here a new MIDI channel for my Prophet 6. So I don't only use sounds from the sample pack, but almost. So I want to use the Prophet 6 and my novation peak, and 1 operator. That's the plan. Okay, let's see how that sounds. I have here already like a preset which I created a while ago. Maybe that could work better with the peak. Let's see. Yeah, that's cool. Bit of a acid kind of sound. Great. And you can also use this to make nice noise hi-hats. So I have here an operator. You can ignore this, it's just from a jam. I have here an operator and I choose white noise and then like a low release and no sustain. So it's pretty short. Let's see what it does. Okay, it does nothing. Okay, let me just open this again. Operator, white noise. Perfect. So now we have like the groove from the percussion also on the noise hi-hats, and I think this is nice for a song if everything works together, you know. It's not only static like with if you play everything with MIDI clicks. So you just export grooves from different loops and use them again in a creative way. What I like to do is to use this LFO plugin and route this in the decay from the operator, so it has like a movement. You see, it's way more interesting. Yeah, great. I also have some overdrive on the operator. I'm searching for where's a good space for it, you know, like you can really put it in the mids or in the highs. I think this is better more in the highs. And then I put it in the stereo field with this little trick. Try wet from the delay on 100% and then you just delay one side. So it feels like it's really in the stereo field, and then some EQing. Oh, that seems to be fine. I pushed it a bit again. Really like to do it and turn down some mid frequencies. This has a nice groove already. I'm happy. Yeah, so what do we have? We have drums, we have a nice groove, we have a background element, we have the novation peak, and I think now it's time to bring everything in the arrangement mode. I like to do it in this way just to have a better overview. I don't record it. So kick, bass line, clap 1, clap 2. Here's the percussion loop and hi-hat loop. the noise hi-hats. They get also color of green. I always color my channels to make sure I have a good overview about everything. Shaker and tambourine. And can delete this. The chords, dub chords. And my Novation peak. Cool, so the last thing I would like to add here are some pads from the beloved Prophet 6. This is like one pad I have created. That's already enough. Three chords, but it should end on the F flat. F flat minor. Bit of reverb. Okay, let me show you what I usually do with pads like this. I have this lovely plugin called RC20 Retro, and it does exactly what you think what it does. It creates like a retro color. I use for these pads a little bit of this wobble knob. You know, it's like pitching, it feels like old vinyl. Just a little bit, that it feels more organic. Some distortion. As you can see, I work a lot with saturation. This is a bit crusher, but I use this just a little bit in the mix. And it also has like this kind of noise in the background, which I like. With the Echo Boy, I just make a bit of space and room. This is what you want to have in pads. And here in the Prophet I have like this pan spread. So the sound goes from right to left. Movement, bring movement in your music and in pads. It's wonderful. It needs to be like everywhere kind of. And with this you also create space for sounds which are more in the mid, like snare drum, bass line, kick drum. Bit of compression and maybe delete the low cut a little bit, but actually not too much. We don't have to cut everything. If it's not disturbing, then it's fine. Here I add a little bit of crunch in the mids. Sounds good to me. Let's see if it's in tune. As you can see, I always change sometimes notes and melodies. I don't always take the first idea, so if I feel like I have to change this at the end of a song, then I just do it. Yeah, this feels good. And also, like, it's important that sounds are not always in the same frequency spectrum. For example, if I pitch this more here, then it's pretty close to the pad. And at the end, it's more difficult to bring in a good mix. That's why I choose it to put it a bit more high, so that means also it's more on the high frequencies. The pad is underneath the peak step, so there's enough space. Okay, and now I need to check the other element, melodic element, the percussion groove. It's cool, and the chords. These DJ moves when I'm playing around. Okay, cool. That's the loop. I don't want to bore you, so I made already like a kind of a arrangement. The song should be at the end like a minute or a minute and a half. You can see like here are some notes I made earlier today. And let's see what I can do with this beautiful loop from the Deep House suite. Yeah, I start with the chords and the Prophet 6, but I think I will first stay on one chord. It's important in arrangement that you don't show everything in the beginning, you know. Take your time. You can, for example, if you have like a 6-minute arrangement or whatever, you can stay on one chord and then you open in the break. That means there's still some excitement happening actually in the break and in the B part of the song. You don't want to show everything in the beginning, because then you start to add more and more and more layers of sounds. And I think the magic behind tracks is if you have like just a couple of sounds and melodies, but really work them out, you know. Like a couple of years ago, you can hear it in my music, it was way more busy than my music is now. So try to work with not a lot of synthesizers and really focus on them. Try to make them special and interesting. And also the progression in the arrangement is really important. So I use here only the first chord in the beginning, and then I will switch. Okay, I think here maybe the hi-hats can come in. Maybe I will fade them in. No, I keep this for later. The offbeat hi-hat has always like, you know, kind of a punch. So maybe I keep this for later and use the other hi-hats instead. Bass line, claps. Percussion Groove can maybe also start already. Yeah, that's cool. I think the noise hi-hat has a bit too much high, so I will change the high cut a bit. And maybe before the kick drops, I will make a little automation here. Okay, now it's maybe more than half an hour, the full session, but let me show you this. I open a return channel, and then I will add overdrive, reverb, and an equalizer, and compression. So what I do now, first I have here reverb, long verb, maybe 20 seconds decay time, and then some overdrive. Let me show you this. Maybe a bit more distortion. Then I cut the low frequencies and the highs a bit. And then some sidechain. What I really like is to use distortion after the reverb. I don't know, it brings like, it feels massive. So try that out. You can also add afterwards like tremolo or LFO or something panning to make it more interesting. You know, it's like electronic music, so you can basically do whatever you want. There are no rules. Okay, and then with the kick, I also want to come in the shaker, kick shaker. Okay. And yeah, the atmosphere. Atmosphere can be also from the beginning, I think. Nice soundscape. Also cool little automation on our effect channel. You know, that's good effect. Cool. And here I feel maybe we can have like a little break. I prepared just a little noise earlier, which is basically this. You know, like just a normal noise with delay. And yeah, I like to add this just before drops. So here I make a little break. Maybe we can add these kind of effect as well. And then something new has to start. Maybe tambourine and hi-hat together, or maybe the hi-hat also when the kick comes in. Not sure yet, let's try that out. That's enough. No hi-hat needed. Or? Not sure. Let's give it a try. Okay. Okay, this could be interesting. Like, I expect the hi-hat here, but I make it a little bit later when we have the first changing in the chords. And I totally forgot about the peak. So let's see where we can add this one. Okay, I will add it here when the bass comes in, otherwise it's just too much going on in the beginning. Great, and then I think we have everything here. Just need to make an outro, which I will just do very easy and delete everything, expect our synthesizer soundscape, and here I put as well the noise to make like a nice curve into the ending. Maybe Atmo and chords at the end. So this should be, I guess, our final arrangement. Sometimes I group like the drums and add a little bit of EQing or a little bit of compression, but really just a tiny bit. For this session I focus more on jamming with all the samples from the pack, which was pretty fun. And maybe we can do another session with a little mixing course. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this session. If you have any questions about what I'm doing here, or maybe also ideas, just comment below and I will try to answer everything. And yeah, now let's listen to the song. I will just play it and play around with my Prophet and my peak, and I hope that there are no mistakes.